Welcome to my YouTube channel. So here today we are going to be looking at the equation of a circle, how you can be able to come up with the equation of a circle provided with coordinates. So we are told to find the equation of the circle through the points, so the circle passes through these points. So how are you going to be looking at the equation of a circle provided with that? So we are going to be using the knowledge of the general equation of a circle, which is, so we have these coordinates. So what are we going to do? So the general equation of a circle is given as x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus the 2fy plus our c should be equal to 0, like that. So provided with this, what we are going to do is that we are going to be substituting. So you substitute until you find your G, your F, and your C. Then you just replace. So we are going to have, let's begin with at our 1, 4, we are going to get, so x is equal to 1. So we are going to have 1 squared plus our y is equal to 4 in this case. So 4 squared plus our 2g, where there is x we put 1, plus 2f, where there is y we put 4, plus c should be equal to 0. So we have 1 plus 4 squared is 16 plus our 2g, then we have plus our 2 by 4 will give us 8f, then we have plus our c, like that. This should be equal to 0. 1 plus 16 is equal to 17 plus our 2g plus our 8f plus c should be equal to 0. So let's just take this value there. We have our 2g plus 8f plus c should be equal to negative 17 as our equation 1. Then we are going to do the same at the coordinates at 7, 5. So at 7, 5, we have x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus our 2fy plus c should be equal to 0. So remember, we are just using the general equation like this. So replace. So this is the general equation. We have the 7 squared plus our y is equal to, we have our 5 squared plus 2g, where there is x you put 7. So this is x, this is y. Then we have plus 2f, where there is y, you are going to put a 5. Then you have plus c should be equal to 0. So 7 squared is equal to 49 plus 5 squared is 25 plus we have 2 by 7 is 14. So 14g plus 2 by 5 is 10. F plus our c should be equal to 0. So when you add your 49 plus 7 plus 25, it will give you 74 plus 14g plus our 10f plus our c should be equal to 0. So this will give us, we take this the other side, we are going to remain with 14g plus 10f plus c should be equal to negative 74. So this will be our equation 2. For the third equation, we are going to take at the last coordinates, which are the 1, 8. At 1, 8, for the equation that says that x squared plus y squared plus our 2gx plus our 2fy should be equal to, plus c should be equal to 0. So we replace, we have 1 squared plus, where there is y we are going to put 8. So 8 squared plus our 2g, where there is x we have 1 plus our 2f, where there is y we are going to put our 8, like that. Then we have plus our c should be equal to 0. So we have 1 squared is 1 plus 8 squared is equal to 64 plus our 2g plus times 1, we are going to have our 2g plus 2 by 8, we are going to have 16f, like that. Then plus c should be equal to 0. 1 plus 64, we are going to have 65 plus our 2g plus our 16f plus c should be equal to 0, like that. So what we are going to do is take the 65 the other side, so that we remain with 2g plus 16f plus c should be equal to negative 65. So this will be our equation 3. So what we are going to do is, let's write them side by side. So if we write these equations side by side, we are going to take them like that. So this was our equation 1. We take it, our equation 2, which is this one, we also take it. So when we take it, we put it there like that. The third equation, which is this one, we also take it, so that we can now solve them simultaneously. So now we are not going to waste time by using the matrix method. We are going to just be using the elimination method. If you want, you can use the matrix method, but that would be a waste of time unless you are taught to use that method. So we are going to solve these two equations simultaneously first. So we have our 2g, then we have plus our 8f plus c should be equal to negative 17. This other one is 14g. Then we have plus our 10f, then we have plus our c should be equal to negative 74. So what we are going to do is that we want to eliminate any data. We can see that c and c are equal, so we can eliminate them. How? By subtracting. C minus c is 0, so we are going to introduce a negative. So when we introduce our negative, we are going to have 2 minus 14. It will be negative 12g. 8 minus 10, it will be minus, the answer will be negative 2f. C minus c, this and this will cancel. It's more like c minus c is 0. Should be equal to negative 17. So here what we have is negative 17 minus negative 74. So this is going to be negative 17 plus 74. So if we add those two values, we are going to get 74 minus that. We are going to have 14, 7 minus, so 14, we have 7 there, 6 minus 1, it will be a 5. So we are going to have a 57. So we are going to write our 57 like that, positive for that matter, because this negative and this negative are multiplying to give you a positive. So we have done with that. So when we do that, let us also get these two equations and solve them simultaneously. So you have to get different equations so that you can come up with two separate equations which you can finally solve simultaneously. So same, c is lower, so we can introduce the negative. 14 minus 2 is 12g, like that. Yeah, let me just confirm. We have a 2g here. I just hope it wasn't 12. Where is it? Okay, so it's 2g, like that. So 14 minus 2, that's 12g. 10 minus 16, it's negative. 10 minus 16, it's negative 6f. C minus c, it's 0, should be equal to negative 74 minus negative 65. We are going to get a negative 74 plus 65, which is, so negative 74 plus the 65, we are going to get a 14 minus 5 will be 9. 6 minus 6 is 0. So the answer here will be a 9. Now negative for that matter, since we are 74 is negative. Negative 74 plus that, it will be negative 9. So with these, now we are going to solve them simultaneously. So solve simultaneously. So we are going to get the two equations and say we have a negative 12g minus our 2f should be equal to, we have a positive 57. Then here we are going to have our 12g. 12g minus 6f should be equal to, we have a negative 9, like that. So we have already, we have equal values. We have a 12 and a 12. So we are just going to add them. Instead of subtracting, just add them because they have different signs. Negative 12 plus 12. Negative 12 plus 12 is 0. So this goes. Then negative 2 plus negative 6. This is going to give us negative 2 plus 6. So it's negative 2f plus 6, which will be minus, like that. Then we have 57 plus, but this is negative, so negative times positive, it's negative 9. So we have this negative 2 minus 6, it will be negative 8f, should be equal to 57 minus the 9, it will be equal to a 48. Then from there we are going to divide. So we divide this by negative 8, negative 8. F will be equal to negative 6 if we divide those. From there, just get any of the two simultaneous equations, a simpler one for that matter, between the two. You can get this or you can get this, whichever. Let's get this one. It will still produce the same answer. So we have the, let's get it. Getting this one, to find the value for the other value, we are going to have the 12g minus 6f. So we have the 12g minus 6, where there is f, we put negative 6, should be equal to negative 9, which is going to give us 12g. Negative by negative is positive, 6 by 6 is 36, should be equal to negative 9. We take this value the other side, it will be equal to 12g should be equal to negative 9 plus 36 minus, for that matter, when it goes this side it will be minus, like that. So we are going to have 12g should be equal to negative 9 plus minus 36, it will be negative 45. We divide by 12 on both sides. We are going to have our g should be equal to negative 45 over 12, in which 3 can enter into both numbers. 45 divided by 3 is negative 15. Then here we have 12 divided by 3 is 4. So our g value will be equal to 15 over 4. Then finally, to find the value of c, we can take any of the three equations, whichever you choose. Let me choose one with smaller values. So you can, whichever equation you choose, it will still give you the answer. So we are going to have, let's take this equation. So when we take this equation, we can now find the value of the last value and then finally replace. So we are going to have our 2g, g is negative not positive, negative 15 over 4. Then we have plus our 8, our f was found to be negative 6. Then we have plus c should be equal to negative 17. So we want the value of c. So we are going to have this times this cancels, we are going to remain with 2. So we have a negative 15 over 2 plus minus 8 times this, it will be negative 48, plus our c should be equal to a negative 17. Let's take this value the other side. So we are going to remain with negative 15 over 2 plus c should be equal to 17 plus our, plus our 48 when it goes the other side. So our negative 17 plus our 48, it is a value that will be equivalent. So our 48 plus minus our 17, 1, 4 minus 1, that will be 31. So we are going to have negative 15 over 2 plus c should be equal to 31. we take this value the other side, it will be c should be equal to 31 plus 15 over a 2. So 2 is common. We are going to have 2 divided by 1, that's 2 times 31, it will be 62, plus 2 divided by 2 times 1, it will be 15. So when we add 15 plus 62, it will be equal to a 77 over a 2. So this will be our C value. So let's just say what we have found. F is equal to negative 6, G is equal to negative 15 over 4, and our C is equal to 77 over 2. So what we can do is that upon finding them, we can find therefore the second equation will be equal to x squared plus 2gx plus our 2x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c should be equal to 0. So this is the equation of the circle. So we are going to have our x squared plus our y squared plus our 2. Our g is equal to negative 15 over 4. Then we have our x plus our 2. Our f is equivalent to negative 6. Then we have y plus our c, which is our 77 over a 2, like that. Is it 2? Yeah. So this should be equal to 0. So we have our x squared plus our y squared. This by this cancels. We are going to have negative 15 over 2. Then x. Then we have plus 2 by 6. It will be negative, for that matter, negative 12 y. Then we have plus 77 over 2 should be equal to 0, like that. So it's either we can do that or we can multiply the 2 throughout so that these 2 disappear. So that 2 by x, it will be 2x squared plus 2 by y, we are going to have 2y squared plus this and this. So this and this, they will cancel, which will give us, so this 2 is multiplying everything. So we have minus, so minus here, this by this, it will be minus 15x with these 2 cancelled. When we move to 12 by that, we are going to have negative 24y. Then we have the plus, these 2 and these 2 cancels. We are going to have 77 should be equal to 0, like that. So that is how we find the equation of the circle for that question. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you would like, subscribe and share for more. See you in the next tutorial.